All right, what's up? What's up? This is your boy Wick. Wick. Shut up. All right. It's been way too long since since I had an opportunity to do one of these interviews, and I love doing these interviews of successful individuals in the beauty health business. And the reason why I feel is whatever one person can do, you can do. That one of my favorite hacks in life is to follow the leaders, follow whoever is doing something right, because they're obviously doing something right to get a certain result. And if you do similar business practices, you do the similar work, you can almost get similar results. So today we got the one and only, and I'm stoked because of our guest today, and reason why we don't have masculinity in the group. Just saying, I'm just throwing it out there. In the group is 99.999% women, which I love. Love the ladies. However, if there is an opportunity to bring some more masculinity here, I am all for it. And today we have our guest, Michael Ortiz with Massage Customs, been in the health and beauty industry for 18 years. Michael, welcome.
Hey man, thank you so much for having me, bro. I'm really grateful that you wanted to have a conversation, and I'm pumped to add value to your community, man.
Yeah, let's do it. And again, what we talk about and why we do this is to pick your brain, Michael. Pick some of what you've done right, what you've done wrong, because there's so much we can learn from successes as well as the pitfalls and mistakes we've made, and all of that in between. So the basic, and like you mentioned, to add value to the group, to help other people in the group that maybe are not quite at six figures, because you're a massage therapist, correct?
That's correct, yes.
Awesome. And being a massage therapist, being in the health business, I don't want people to think, well, he does massage therapist. How do I do lashes, or I do waxing, or I do skin? Let me tell you one thing. Business is very parallel. The success, the practices, the processes, the procedures are very, very similar. So what we're going to talk about, you can easily pick out the nuggets. I always tell people, be a sponge, absorb what you want, and some of the messages or something that doesn't resonate with you, hey, no worries. It's not everything's a gem, right? Not everything's a gem. So tell me a little bit about your business. How did you get involved in massage therapy? Is it something you always wanted to do? What did you want to do when you were younger? And how did you get into the massage therapy business?
Look, when I got into this business because my wife told me to do it, bro, and I just do what I'm told,
Huh.
man. No,
That's not bad advice, though.
hey, it's happy wife, happy life, right?
Yes, true.
When I was younger, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I remember being in high school, sitting down with friends though, and saying to myself, I know I don't want to work for somebody else my whole life. I knew that from a young age. I don't remember why I knew that. I just remember having that conversation outside an apartment complex with my boy. But I was massaging my wife, and she was like, "Look, you're actually pretty good at this." I was giving her a massage, and she's like, "You might want to think about doing this for a career." I think she was really thinking to herself, like, "You're a lifeguard, bro. We're getting serious. Like, you might want to do something with your life." And
What were
so
you doing at the time? What were you doing at the time?
I was a lifeguard at the Paris here in
Okay.
Las Vegas.
Okay.
I think I was nine. I just turned 19 in August, and I started school in December in 2006. And I ended up seeing a commercial for it on TV. That day, I called the school, drove over there to check it out, called my wife, our girlfriend at the time, called my mom, asked them what they thought. They were like, "Yeah, do it." And so I just jumped in. Luckily, that school, they gave you like a 6 months to decide if that's what you really wanted to do. I don't think they do that anymore. If within 6 months you decided to drop out, you didn't have to pay anything. So it was like,
Oh, wow.
yeah, it was almost no risk in the beginning, but I ended up loving it and had no plans on dropping out. So that's kind of how I got involved in it. In the beginning, I actually wanted to work on the strip because I heard about how much money they made over there. I actually ended up working at Massage Envy though, because I couldn't get hired at the strip. So started at Massage Envy and worked there for 5.5 years. The whole time I was there, I was trying to build a clientele on the side, right? wasn't very successful at that in the beginning. It really wasn't until I started reading business books. Like my wife's aunt gave us the Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey to get like our budget and stuff on track. Read that, and then like within 5 months, I went from 1 to 2 clients a month to like 7 to 8 a week within a 5 month period, and that stayed consistent. At the end of that year, me and another therapist moved out on our own into a room. I was still working at Massage Envy 3 days, and then I was also in the other room, in that room 3.5 days. No days off for a year straight. And I went from 18 hours my first month in that location because I built up a little clientele to by month 12 I was at 90 hours with no marketing, like no networking, no Yelp reviews, just word of mouth referrals. At that point, I had the room fully because after 6 months, the other guy backed out, hired 2 therapists, started building up their clientele. I grew that to 6 therapists at one point.
Oh, wow.
Developed a lot of processes and systems and, learned a freaking crap ton. That was the hardest thing I probably ever did, was being responsible for somebody else's income. I remember sitting with my wife like, dude, you got to be a special kind of crazy to want to do something like this. I was just so stressed out at one point. And yeah, so after 2020, I had 2 locations. I had a therapist in another location. 2020 happened. We closed down that other location. I brought that therapist back over. At that point, I was really like reevaluating what I wanted, because I wanted to grow this to like 10,000 therapists. I wanted to franchise, have multiple, like thousands of satellite locations. That was like the really big goal. But after 2020, I asked myself, what do I want? What do I really want? And the answer that came to me was peace. And that's when I decided to reevaluate, realize that I really love the training side of this. I loved onboarding therapists, showing them the processes, and then helping them and watching them become successful. And so now I'm focused on growing my own clientele, maintaining my own clientele. I have one other therapist that works with me, and then I'm doing like I'm helping other massage therapists and service providers grow their business as well.
No, that's awesome, right? What a story. And the interesting part about a lot of this is, so in the beginning, why did you work with Massage Envy first and not just immediately start your own business? Because I see a lot of people in the group, they get out of school and they're like, okay, boom, solo esthetician, solo business owner. Because you mentioned that while working at massage therapy, you're trying to build that side clientele and it wasn't quite happening. So why did you choose to go to Massage Envy, or why did that happen as opposed to you just opening? Because you must have at least thought of that. That thought might have crossed your mind.
No, I tried. I was trying, bro. I was in school. I was working on clients from clinic, trying to build my clientele. It just wasn't happening for me. Whether that was a, inexperience and technique side of things, like I wasn't, people in school in my class were gassing me up about how good I was, but it's very subjective to who's on the table. But I was trying, dude, and I was a lifeguard, and my boss pissed me off, and I put in my 2 week without any backup plan. And that's when I was going all over looking for jobs. Opening came up at Massage Envy. Somebody told me about it. I was like, all right, I need something. I did not want to go to Massage Envy because even then they didn't have a great reputation. But we could talk about that more if you want. But went over there just because I needed something. And I had just got my license the month before for massage because it took like 8 months. Yeah, I got it. I graduated December. I didn't get my license till August. And so it was at that point that I was looking for a job, and they hired me. I did try to grow my clientele. It just, like I said, it wasn't working.
Yeah, and you know what? And a lot of the times, it's like things happen for a reason. Like you mentioned, even while you were at Massage Envy, you're trying to get clientele. It wasn't happening, and then maybe it was that book by Dave Ramsey, right? Maybe sometimes when you pull out these nuggets from it. But one of the things that I always appreciate about, especially if somebody's new out of school, is I recommend working for somebody at least for a little bit. because it's almost, to me, it's on the job training. It's additional training you're going to get, and you're getting paid for it, right? So as opposed to going to another school and learning the business part of it, or this or this or this, you work under somebody else. You're like, cool, okay, I know how to do this. Oh, I see how they're doing this. How are they intaking clients? So you can pick their brain. And Massage Envy, love them or hate them, they're not doing too bad, meaning that they got plenty of businesses all over the world, or US or whatever, right? So they're doing something right, where people are coming in and they're growing, right? So that's awesome. So what are some of the things that you learned at Massage Envy that might have helped contribute to your success?
Yeah, dude, I definitely paid attention to their sales process, because I agree with you 100%. Like I do not encourage people coming right out of school to jump headfirst into their own business. I just don't. There's some people who've done it. I have one girl at my salon right now who fresh out of school started her own business. She's growing, she's crushing it. But that's one out of many, right? That
No,
have failed.
and there's a saying I say, I look at the probability, not the possibility. Meaning,
Yeah,
it's possible somebody can get out of school and just boom,
I think
hit
most
it
people,
just like her, right?
yeah,
Right.
they
But
underestimate.
it's not probable. It's I could get lottery ticket scratchers. It's possible I could win, but the probability of it happening is tentatively pretty low.
I agree. I think they highly underestimate the level of activity it's going to take to go from nobody knowing who you are and what you do to growing a full clientele where you're paying rent somewhere and now you
Mm.
owe money every week or every month. It's just harder. It takes longer than you think for most people, especially when you didn't grow up with like business knowledge, right? That was one of my setbacks is I didn't have any business knowledge. I didn't know about business. I didn't know about sales, and it was at Massage Envy that I started to learn about those things. It was watching their sales process. I moved up to a leadership position, so I started reading leadership books. Um, how to communicate and have conversations with people. I started reading customer service books, right? I
Mm.
wanted to, anything I get my hands on to like serve my customers better, because I see people all the time, and even there, it was like they always would say to themselves, "I deserve better than this," and they would have this attitude, like this
Yeah.
opportunity, because we started at $15 an hour when I was there, and they come in like this is below them, and that shows up in their attitude, and then they would fail, like they wouldn't grow a clientele, and I'm like, I operate under the thought that I'm going to do my best to grow my clientele here and prove to myself that if I can at least retain my clients here, I can do that outside on my own.
100%.
Even if I don't know how to get people in the door, if I can retain the people that I do have, then I have a better chance of success outside of here. So I still wasn't good at sales. That I wasn't that good at sales, but I was really good at service. I was really good at customer service. Even as a lifeguard, I was highly focused on serving the customers. We would greet them at the door, at the gate coming in. How many chairs do you guys need today? Right? I'm like, do you guys want shade in the morning? Do you want shade in the afternoon? Right? The sun's going to be over here. This area is going to be shaded, about 3 o'clock. Like I knew because the tower would provide shade over the pool. I knew where the shade was going to be at what time. I would set their chairs up, get them a table, put their towels on it. We'd make tips. Like, so I was always really big on service even before the massage. So that kind of translated over there in Massage Envy, but the sales skills came later.
Yeah, and that's pretty important stuff, right? Like when you look at a business, uh, I read somewhere once they said that one way you can hate a hobby that you enjoy. Like for example, let's just say somebody's passionate about massage or somebody's passionate about skincare. One way you can lose passion about the thing you love is by creating a business out of it. Because if someone is a passionate about massage, cool. You like the massage part. Oh, cool. I get to service clients. I get to shoot the shit with them. Same thing with skincare. They love doing this or treating this. However, when you run a business, that service is a minuscule part of the overall business. I might love the massage part, but Do I love the social media part? Do I love the sales part? Do I love the follow-up part? Meaning those are all aspects of a business that I feel a lot of people don't get a grasp of. Does that make sense?
100%. And I was just listening. I was on a talk with Jesse Itzler. I don't know if you know who that is.
No.
Amazing business person who just will help you reignite a passion for life. But he talked about one of the things of highly successful people is that they are good at everything, right? They're great at the thing that they do, but they're good at everything around it, right? Which is just what you said, is they're good at the business. They're good at sales. They're good at marketing. They're good at advertising. They're good at making video. They're good at editing video. They're great at their service. They become an expert at the service. But you got to be good at these other things if you're going to have your own business, right? The service isn't enough. Now we want. I think we want that to be really good because it makes everything else a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
But you still have to ask if they want to rebook. You still have to take them through a consultation and find out their wants and needs and be good at that conversation, right? You still have to make video and create content. Like you said, you still have to follow up.
Isn't it ironic? Isn't it ironic how so many people want to start their own business? I want to be my boss. I don't want to work for nobody else. But they don't want to do all the things that it requires for you to work for yourself. So, for example, like yourself, a massage therapist, cool. Like a big part of the group is a lot of the gals in there. I don't want to do Facebook marketing. I don't like the way I sound on my videos. I don't like the way I look at videos. I don't want to do video editing. And I'm like, okay, I agree that it's not some of the parts that someone may like or want to do. However, if you don't want to do all that stuff, you might as well work for somebody else because they are the ones handling all the other things that I don't want to do. But if I want to run my own business, again, like me personally, I hate video editing. I hate making videos. I hate sitting in there posting, figuring out what to say. I dislike all that stuff. To me, it's like washing dishes. It's like I don't want to wash this, but what am I going to do? Just let them pile up until they stink and flies come. All right. So, what do you think about that in terms of how did you improve your skill set in those areas that you found you needed to run a successful business?
I mostly read. I watch a ton of YouTube videos. I experiment. I don't like video editing. I do all my
Takes a
own videos.
special geek. It takes a special geek to like to all
I
you
like
video
really like
editors.
it. Yeah. I don't mind putting like demo videos together, but it's time consuming, man. I prefer
Yeah.
not to. You know, to edit a 1 minute video, if I can do it really quick if it's just demo content where I'm just showing my work, super easy. But anything beyond that, where I have to watch the whole thing to cut out these little gaps, so there's not like big spaces in between. It's just time consuming more than anything. Good thing is there are some AI programs that can help, but they're still not that great yet. But yeah, dude, I'm a student, man, and still am, right? I'm still every day learning. I'm reading books. I have Audible. I'm listening to things to increase my business skills. I'm listening to people who are more successful than me. I'm not listening to people who are in our industry. Rarely am I getting any type of great feedback or insight from people who are actually in my industry. I am mostly listening to business people who are like outside of my industry. Like that's where even a guy I listen to, Jay Abraham, he talks about that's where innovation comes from. That's where great ideas come from, is outside of what people are doing in your industry, you know? And so that's why I learn a ton of stuff. Dude, YouTube is amazing, like what you can learn. You just have to go do it, you
You know
know?
what's interesting? I heard someplace else that a lot of people are not successful for one of three reasons. One, they're stupid. Two, they're lazy. Or three, they're egotistical, right? And most people are just not stupid, right? Then a few people are like, I don't want to do it. It's like, well, there's no hope for you if if you can't even muster up the energy to do it, to be lazy. If somebody's rather watch Netflix and work on their business, then that says all you gotta know about them. But the third thing I feel is the egotistical part, where, so like you mentioned before, I'm glad you said that, where, oh, I'm too good for this, where somebody in massage envy saying, oh, I'm too good for this. It's like, yeah, you're saying that. However, do you know how to follow up with a client? How do you get a client? How do you, do you have some kind of email system in place? Do you have a way to capture a lead or get leads or things of that sort? So a lot of people, when they say, oh, I'm too good for this, it's like that ego is what kills a lot of people and prevents them to go to the, oh, I'm too good to do Facebook ads. I'm an esthetician. I don't do Facebook ads. Oh, okay. Well, let's see how that works for you. How is your business going? Because that ego of what someone's not willing to do, there's another person or another entity willing to do that work, willing to do this, willing to put in the time, willing to do all the stuff that somebody's not willing to do. And it, and to me, I believe life is very fair. If you're willing to do the work, you'll get the reward.
Yeah.
Life is very, it's egotistical to say, well, I don't want to do videos. I don't want to do social media marketing. I don't want to learn this. I don't want to network. I don't want to follow up, but I want this result. It's like, what freaking dream world are people living in? You get
Well,
me?
I think I completely agree. And like the first thing I think is doing the thing. Like you have to do something, and then you have to get good at doing that thing, because that's two
Yep.
different things, right? Putting out a video and being good at putting out videos is, you have to do it first, though, right? Like you got to get frequent before you get good at something. And
Yes.
um and somebody just asked a question the other day in one of the groups that I'm in, and they said, why is massage envy, why do people go there instead of coming to you? And people were coming up with all kinds of answers. And I came up with, look, I mean, they have tons of marketing. They have multiple locations that you can go to. Like there's a ton of value that they add to the marketplace. But mainly the reason they're going to them and not you is because they have no idea that you exist. You're in business and you don't do anything to market yourself. And the number one problem you have is that you're not known. Nobody knows who you are. They don't know what you do, right? Like, and you've not posted anything that gets people to want to actually use your service. Like, what's the benefit? And so you gotta do something. And look what we're doing right now, bro. This is free, you know? Well, I mean, I pay $14 a month for Zoom myself, but social media is free, bro. You know, I just posted a video not that long ago, like you said, oh, I'm scared. I don't like the way my voice sounds, all that stuff. I'm like, dude, it's free. It's free. Do something, you know? And the ego, yes, I agree with you on the three things you talked about, but I think it's also the beliefs, because ultimately our beliefs shape our actions, you know? And I tell people, I heard this quote from Jim Quick, fire quote. He says, our brain is a supercomputer and our self-talk is the program that it runs.
Yeah.
And so one of the things I see that stops people from being successful is their beliefs around certain customers coming in. And maybe we can go here or not, but most people coming out for, tell me if you agree with this. I'm very for running promotions to get people in, especially for those people who are newer to the industry, don't have a clientele built up. But it seems like they want nothing but full price clients. That's the question I get the most. How do I get full price clients? I'm like, you need clients first. And I don't really care how you get them in, but you need people on your table, you know?
Yep.
Then as you start to build up a clientele, you can start worrying about full price clients. But we need somebody in first before we, in my opinion, before we worry about getting full price.
No,
You
and
tell
it's
me.
exactly what you mentioned. It says you said you got to get frequent before you get good. Why
Yeah.
would somebody pay full price for someone they don't really know, they don't like, they don't trust. They just, so if someone's fresh out of school, start a business, and they go, well, I just want full clients or full paying clients and this and that, right? And to me, again, I play the game, follow the leader. You know, I get coupons in the mail from McDonald's. Everybody knows McDonald's. McDonald's offers deals. They still do promotions, right? How egotistical am I going to? Well, I only do full price. Well, not saying that's not possible, but it's again the value that you bring. Do you have enough people who know you? In business, those are the three things. The first three things I teach everybody is if you get a client, the three most important reasons they will not work with you or won't come to you or pay for your service or products, whatever. They don't know you, they don't like you, they don't trust you. And for example, if you get a referral from somebody, a lot of those objections are already down. They heard about you from somebody. That's somebody that they trust or they like, and they go, well, shoot, Michael referred me to you. Instantly, my guard is down. I'm not worrying about you trying to rip me off or anything of that sort. But belief is everything, right? I believe some of the beliefs that I think are important in this business is one, believe that it's possible, right? Believe that it's possible. So if the average esthetician is making between 30 to 40,000 a year or whatever it may be, and we have someone like you in the six figures. So, okay, if Michael can do it, I can do it. So you have to believe one, that it's possible. Two, believe you have all the tools capable to do it. Everyone has YouTube, but again, it just depends on how you use how you use those tools. If someone is just watching YouTube video after YouTube video after YouTube video, then they're not doing anything much with it except just they call it mental masturbation. They're just learning stuff but not doing anything with it, right? And as opposed to watching a YouTube video on Facebook ads and saying, okay, pause, let me do that step. Next step, pause, let me do that step. And then the third thing is for people to be, for somebody to move or to adjust, they have to be almost unhappy where they are now. And that's one of the quotes I heard a while ago, that being content has killed more dreams than failure ever has, because they're not bothered enough to change. They're not bothered enough to move. And at some point in life, it's kind of like I remember many times ago before, where my numbers aren't where I'm supposed to be, and I know I can do better. And then it's getting towards the end of the month, it's like, oh shit, I need to pay bills, I need to do this, then all of a sudden I have that motivation. I have to change and adjust. But exactly what you mentioned, it's like you have to believe a couple of things. You have to believe that one, it's possible. Two, other people are doing it, so why not you? But you have to also believe that where I am now is not where I want to be, and I need to be upset with myself. One of the quotes have you heard of Alex Ramosi?
Love Alex.
Yeah, I love Alex. That guy's, I buy anything Alex sells, I buy. That guy's he's one of the few people out there. He's kind of like a Joe Rogan to me. It's like I trust him blindly because he gives so much value. But he always talks about, he goes, one of the things I heard him say is, he goes, violence is the answer. So in the beginning, violently work on your social media, violently work on their follow-up. It's all the work, the volume that you put in, because once you put in that volume, then only then can you get good at it. And it's like the videos. It's like, doing the videos again and again. In the beginning, you suck, and then you suck less, and then you suck less. And then at some point you get kind of decent at it, right?
Oh, I still suck at video, dude.
Yeah. but hey, it's working, and that's a good part. It's like you don't have to be good. We're not trying to do a Hollywood production here, but it's putting out content so people see your face, being consistent with it, so people can see who you are, what you're doing, and just being in there. A lot of people, like, I think one of the first things that you mentioned is a lot of people underestimate the level of activity it takes to run a business. Right? They're not doing enough. They feel, oh, wait, I just did a video a day. It's like, dude, do you know how big the internet is? If you do a video a day, you could do freaking 20 videos a day, and you're still not going to reach enough people. And it's doing as much as you can, using your time the best that you can. So, so what do you feel are some of the secrets to your success? What are some of the things, getting into the tips, the tricks, the ideas that you do on a daily basis? I know you mentioned before you have practices, you have processes, and your systems. So what are some of the things that you do? Let's just say one of the first things that people always talk about, how do I get new clients? How do I get more clients? So what are some of the steps that you take to get more clients for yourself and your business?
All right, well, first, one of the tips for I think that I'm successful or reasons I'm successful is because I don't let fear stop me from doing a thing, right? I actually use fear as a guide to tell me what I should be doing, right?
Yeah.
So when I first got into business and I was so scared to go networking, but I did it anyways, right? When social media came about and Vine came about, right, was I think one of the first. I mean, I was on Instagram a little bit. I was kind of hesitant towards social media in the beginning, but a friend of mine, he he kind of snapped me out of that, and so then I started becoming an early adopter of social media platforms earlier. Still some resistance, not as early as some people, um, but if fear came up, I use that as a tool to like tell me where I should be going. The
So
second thing,
by that, do you mean like sometimes I believe that if I'm scared of something, I need to run in that direction, right? So did you use fear meaning as an indicator of, okay, I'm scared of this thing, so I need to do this thing and basically own it, so I'm not afraid of it anymore? Is that
yeah,
what
I
you
mean,
mean, or how do
within
you?
reason. I'm still not cliff jumping. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But maybe I
Yet.
will. Maybe if the opportunity comes, I
Yeah.
push past it anyways. But yes, so like if an idea comes up or somebody says something to me like, "Hey, you should try this," and fear comes up, I'm like, "Okay, that's a good idea."
Yeah.
If if somebody gives me an idea of something I should do, and I'm like, I just don't like that idea. I think that's a dumb idea. It's not the direction that I want to go. That's different, right?
Yeah.
That's doesn't align with what I'm trying to create. So I differentiate my feelings in that way. Somebody's like, "Oh, you should try this," and I'm like, "Ooh, I don't know. That makes me nervous." Then I need to
Good.
do that,
Good. Good.
right? So if it's public speaking was one of them, right? Made me it scared me. It wasn't didn't nothing came up and was like, "Oh, that's a dumb idea. I don't even think you might even that might even be a block for some people when you don't think it's a good idea, but you might be masking fear with I don't think it's a good idea." So really being self-aware there. But yes, if fear comes up, I'm like, crap. I got to do that now. You know,
Yeah.
if it's
And
going to drop off,
there's so many quotes. There's so many quotes in talking about that. Like, the uh the most valuable gold you'll find in the deepest and darkest caves, right?
mhm,
So like I'm always afraid. I'm afraid of stuff all the time. And I'm just like you, and I'm really glad you mentioned that, right? Because a lot of times people want tactics, like how do I do this? Or how do I do this? Or there's a new client, what do I say? It's like we can give the words all day long, but if somebody is afraid to even go step up to them, ironically to me, running a business is kind of like meeting women, right? So if I'm trying to, chilling in Vegas, see a hottie, like ooh la la, go what's up, guy? Right? What's up, guy? How I can have the best pickup lines in the world and know what to say, but if I don't have the cojones to even step up to her and confidently talk to her, what are the use of those words, right? So that fear and to be able to overcome it is just critical, because if we can't even do that part of it or not willing to at least try to do it, everything else is almost useless, right?
exactly, man. Exactly. You like I said before, you got to do the thing. Ideas are crap. And this is why I don't mind giving out some of my best advice to people because without even charging, because I'm like, you're not going to do it. You know,
Yeah, true.
like I can give out all the free advice, but one of the things that lights me on fire is when they actually freaking do it and then they get a result. Like I just before we jumped on, I have a massage therapist coming out tomorrow to do a VIP day with me. We're gonna do like processes, training, and stuff like that. And she, one of the things we talked about was doing social media, and she made a post just like a couple of days ago, and she texted me today like, I already booked one client off of that. I'm like, ooh, I'm
Woo!
so amped. you right now.
Yes.
I'm like, look, you like we're planting seeds, dude. It's like everybody wants like instant results. And one of my business coaches in the past talked about whatever you're doing today, what you do today will show up 3 to 6 months from now.
Yep.
And so with that in mind, dude, if we can go hard for 6 months and just continue to be consistent after that, like if your clientele is going to go like this, you know. But if you don't,
And and excuse me, just chiming in there and stuff like that. If the people can see where they are now and look 3 months ago, 6 months ago, if they didn't go hard 6 months ago, those results
yeah,
are what they see today,
right,
right? So if somebody says, well, God, I'm not happy where I am right now. I'm not making the money I want to make. I'm barely paying my rent. I don't have clients. Okay, well, forget about what you're going to do now, but let's first look at what have you done in the past, because what you did in the past got you here. So
hmm
one, let's stop doing that stuff that got you here, and let's start listening to some of the other things that 3 to 6 months will get you to that next level, right? So what are some of the other things that worked out really well for you? Some tips, some tricks, ideas that got the dinero like freaking rolling.
I think one of the biggest reasons for my success today is reflecting after I would do something. So, for example, I would go and do like a chair massage event or a networking event where we had a booth and we're marketing, right? And after every single event, I would sit down and just think, what went right? What went really good? What are we going to continue to do? What could have done better? And then what were other people doing there that I saw that I might need to implement, right? And I do that with everything, man, and I'm still doing it, right? Like I have solid processes in my business, but I am still always trying to improve them. And so it's like reflecting, but then this never ending like need to improve,
Yeah.
because what I was doing 5 years ago worked, but it is nothing compared to what I'm doing today. And what I'm doing 3 years from now is going to be so much better than what I'm doing today. Like that's been my goal as a massage therapist and a service provider is literally from the start. I was like, I want my clients last year. I want to have to apologize to them because what I was doing last year just doesn't compare to what I'm doing this year.
Yep.
Right. That's always, I want to improve so much year by year that I feel bad for the massages I was giving last year.
Yeah, and listen, everybody, listen to this. If you are not embarrassed about what the services you provided a year ago, the whatever it was, or how you handled certain things, if you are not embarrassed, then you have not grown. Because what Michael just said right here, the reflecting part is critical. I am constantly ashamed of my past self. Constantly. I look at myself like, what the hell was I
What were you
thinking?
doing, bro?
But just like I don't need. I'm like, dude, God must love me because I'm still on this planet. But there's been plenty of stupid things I've done or tried or this or that. But that's important because to reflect on, and after you interact with it, whether it's an event or a client, see, and again, it goes back to the ego. I visited estheticians within the group and stuff because I want to check it out. And after the service, I look at it and stuff like that, and I'm just like, man, I just wasn't happy with that service. They didn't do this, they didn't do that. And to me, I'm similar to you, Michael, where after I speak to somebody, it's like, okay, what did I do right? What could I have improved on? What changes do I need to make? How could I make the process better? Oh, they did this, they did that. How could I have made it better for them? Could I have done this? Could I have said this? Maybe I could have been funnier. Maybe I could have asked them more about their personal life, their family. Do they have pets? Got to know more about them so I can become a part of their world. And the only reason I would do all of that is because I value them as a client and I want to keep them. All right.
100%, man.
So,
And that's one of the
yeah.
things that made me think of was um, we one of the reasons I think I'm successful today isn't because I got feedback. You know what this is? Somebody canceled their massage on me like 20 minutes into the massage, right?
Mhm.
I was about 3 to 6 months into my career, and the client had asked for more lotion, put a little bit more lotion on, right? About 5 minutes after that, she looked up and she was like, I think I want to be done. And my heart
Mm.
dropped, bro. I was like, what? She's like, I think I'm done. I was like, okay, I'll step out, I'll grab you some water, come out when you're ready. When she came out, I asked her, was everything okay? Like, is there something I could have done better? And she was like, I just didn't feel connected to you,
Yeah.
which is terrible feedback. How am I supposed to grow from that? And I'm sure you guys deal with this in the aesthetics and in beauty care industry as well, where we don't get good feedback about our service that actually helps us improve, right? We're lied to constantly. We're gassed up constantly because nobody wants to tell us to our face, hey, you're not good at customer service. Your bedside manner is trash.
Yeah.
Your facial didn't give me any results. Your massage didn't give me
Mm.
any results. And I don't appreciate it and I want my money back. How often does something like that happen?
Nah, and thank you for touching that. And real quick, right? So people understand this. People will lie to you, not be, and one of the main reasons is they do not want to hurt your feelings. So if somebody
100%.
says, so if somebody comes to an esthetician and they ask all these questions about acne and this and that and getting treatment, and then they go, okay, I'll think about it, and okay, I'll let you know. You know, they don't want to tell you, I don't trust you. I don't feel you know enough to help me as a client. They don't want to say that to your face because most people are kind. So they'll say, okay, they'll substitute that with, okay, I'll think about it. I'll let you know. So understand that you are constantly being lied to. And sometimes you have to dig deeper. And this is where the fear really comes in, where you have to be willing to have that uncomfortable conversation and go, well, hey, I completely understand, but let me ask you something. You talked about this acne, we talked about this. What part are you not convinced with? Do you not feel like I can help you? Do you feel like, so there's another solution that's better? Meaning, what part of this conversation did you not believe me? Because you want to treat that acne, right? So it's being willing to not take that lie, but again, that's a hard, uncomfortable conversation. And business is that way. A lot of times, people will lie to you to spare you hurting feelings. But as a grown man or woman, you have to ask those questions. Otherwise, we're going to lose a lot of people, and you're going to get that. I'll think about it. And somebody told me once that the think about it bus doesn't come back.
No. And I think the thing is, I think we can prevent a lot of client complaints because a lot of times we have to manage their expectations,
Yeah.
right? And so we do that in the consult, right? And because probably similar in your industry, I think a lot of clients come in and they're maybe in their subconscious, they're expecting a miracle today,
Mm-hmm.
right? They're expecting like one session and I'm done. And so making sure we manage those types of expectations, manage like here's the realistic idea of what the results are going to be, things like that, so that we can prevent some of the disappointment after the session. I think is pretty crucial. The consultation is hands down one of the most important parts, I think, of what service providers do. And you talked about they don't trust you. How do you build trust? And I think that's through asking really good questions. A lot of people think it's by telling them about how smart they are and all their knowledge they have, and here's all my certifications. I don't do any of that, right? I don't care about none of that. I freaking just ask really good questions, and that, like me sitting down and taking time to actually show that client that I care about what they're doing, what they're going through, their
Mm-hmm.
issues, taking time to go over their needs and concerns for the day, about their skin, about their pain, whatever it is. That is what builds trust that you are the person who can handle the issue. Because when somebody feels understood,
Yes.
that's when they start to be trusted or trusting, right? So
And you know what, like and Alex Hormozy, if anybody, if you, some the people listening to this, if you haven't seen any of Alex Hormozy's stuff, definitely check it out. Check out some of his sales processes, because that is like literally 80% of the stuff that I follow in terms of how I consult. Is he first asks a lot of questions to get information, and then he repeats back. So just to be clear, this is what you came for. This is what you tried. This is what's going on. Are we good? Yes. Cool. Because once somebody is understood, then they're willing to do that. And then the next step is, okay, based on all the information you gave me, I feel I can really help you out. Can I share that with you? They'll be like, yes. Now they're giving you permission to help them because they feel that you understand them. You use the words that they use, you get the information, you repeat it back to them. And to me, it's similar like going to a restaurant. If I go to a restaurant and the waitress takes my order, I want her to repeat back my order just so I make sure it gives me peace of mind that,
yeah,
that I'm getting it right and I'm not getting some jacked up thing before. But expectation is huge, because there are some people that have TikTok expectations where they come in, they're like, okay, I just want to come in and I'm going to leave and all my acne is gone. And if those expectations are not handled up front, it's better. Some of them, sometimes I believe the best business you can get is the one you walk away from, because this person has Harry Potter expectations that I cannot deliver. I'd rather let them know up front, go, hey, you know, I understand what this is what you want, and these are the creams you saw on TikTok. However, this is how I run my business, and this is what I can do for you, you know, and kind of go from there. But
yeah.
some of the best business, because you do not want the bad reviews, you don't want to deal with the headaches. Those kind of clients are just like, dude, nah, pass.
Well, here's the thing. One of the tips I give people around sales too, right, is like I don't qualify myself to people. So when somebody comes in, is like, well, how are you going to be able to help me? Like, what are the things that you do and offer? I'm like, well, hold on a second. I don't even know if we're a good fit. I don't even know
Yep.
if I will be able to help you. I'd have to understand your situation better before I ever, give you the possible support that I have. Because what I'm going to do is just throw out a bunch of stuff on this and this, and I'm the best at this. And no, dude, I don't do that. Like I don't talk about why I'm the best. First I seek to understand before I'm understood,
Yep.
you know?
100%, right?
Um,
And you know what? It's funny. I was looking at a gal's page just yesterday on Facebook in the group, and she put that out there. Who has some skincare questions? And then someone says, "Oh, I have read this and this and this. What should I use?" And she's just giving out answers, and I'm just like, "Oh, that opportunity blown." I go, that's a provider. Go. Okay, hey, so let me understand. This is what you're doing. Cool. Okay, here, let me book you on a 15-minute consult, free consult,
yeah,
and let's talk about, because one, you don't want everyone's freaking business on a Facebook thread. You don't want to start selling on the thread. You want to get enough. Go, okay, I see what you're saying. What have you used? Okay, cool. Here, hey, I need a little bit more information. Let me get you on a consult. Because if you're just giving out information like boom, 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 it's an opportunity lost. You're giving out information based on not knowing and really understanding, and chances are of somebody just going to buy it based on that, to me, I feel is very low. What are your thoughts on something like that?
yeah. No, I think that's great. I think that's one of the reasons I'm crushing, with Facebook ads right now, is I'm leading everybody to a consult,
Yeah.
right? And so I'm doing a free 30-minute consultation, and I'm genuine in this consultation. This is what I want people to understand about sales. I was just talking to one of my massage therapists yesterday, and she's like, I don't want to be pushy. And I was like, Heather, nothing we're doing is pushy. That's just something you're saying because you have fear,
Yeah.
right? Like we're literally not being pushy at all. And this is mostly with event sales. But um, we have to get better at sales and consults, right? And so I'm leading everybody to a consult. I'm doing a free consultation, and I'm genuinely trying to find out their wants, their needs, and if I can actually help them. I turned away a lady the other day because I'm like, look, I don't think I'm the best fit for you, right? I
Yeah.
turn away relaxation clients because this is not what I want to do, right?
Yes.
I'm pain relief, and my massages have a relaxation component, But if you don't have any major issues, I'm going to pass you to somebody else because I like working on people who have
So
some
why is
major.
that? Here, I think that's really important. Why are you going? Why are you aiming more at pain relief as opposed to relaxation?
Well, first, it's the type of work that I like to do, right? Like I like to solve problems. Now, is stress relief a problem solve? Yes, but a lot of those people don't want deeper work. They want light relaxation, and that puts me to sleep standing up.
Yeah.
So I tend to not do those, and I'll pass to my therapist. Heather loves doing relaxation. She
Yep.
loves putting people to sleep and just doing feel good strokes and stuff like that. I like taking somebody from not feeling great to feeling great. Like I love that process. And so, over the years, what do I have relaxation clients? Yes, you know, but just honing in on what actually brings me joy as the service provider. It's not people who don't want anything focused on, they just want full body. And so I typically pass those off. So pay attention to what brings you joy because dude, not looking forward to the clients on your table is one surefire way to burn out,
Yep.
you know? And so I might do some relaxation massage. I have clients that I've worked on who don't have a ton of issues now, and they're coming in just for maintenance. But we're still working on something. We're still preventing something from coming up.
Yeah, it sounds
And
like they're like on at least on a plan, right? So
yeah,
so they were here and now the progress and like that. And
yeah,
one of
because
my favorite sayings.
we'll start
Go
out
ahead.
more frequently in the beginning, as
Hmm.
and then we slowly back off as the results start to last longer. You start to feel better for longer. You can go a week now, 2 weeks or 3 weeks without pain. We can get on more of a maintenance type of routine, probably similar to something you guys would do with skincare.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. And to me, it's like I love working on like, my focus is acne, right? I chose acne because uh it's ugly. The people that are dealing with acne are wearing it on their face, and it's a very painful thing for them to look at. And one of the phrases I live by is profit is in the pain. There's no reason I can't do good, right? And do well for myself as well. So I can do good by helping others with that pain and do well for myself and make a good living. And that's one of the reasons I don't like relaxation either. Some people go, oh, I do relaxation facial. I'm like, dude, that is not my niche. I don't want somebody to come in for a one hitter quitter. And I was just talking to a gal yesterday. I go, they come in for a facial or whatever, and they say one facial is a treat, 10 facials is a treatment,
Hmm.
right? So I don't want the treat. I want somebody that's committed and they want a result. Like for you, somebody comes in with pain. This is not right. This needs correcting or whatever it may be, and go, cool. Based on what you're telling me, to treat this, it's going to take about 10 sessions. And we're going to start with this and start with this. We're going to be a little bit more frequent in the beginning. And then over in the long run, we're going to start maintaining and keeping and getting that the result. And that's what people, I think, truly, truly want. I don't want to be sitting there just something. I want to get people a result. And sometimes that result takes 10 treatments. Sometimes it takes 20.
Well,
But you
exactly.
figure that out in the consult, right?
Exactly. And look, it isn't even for me, it isn't even like light work versus deep work. I have people with fibromyalgia where I'm barely touching them,
Yeah.
but we're still purposeful in like what we're doing here. I think that's maybe I have more trouble finding purpose in the relaxation style massages where they don't have any issues. I could still do it, but I just prefer not to. But you brought up something about making a good income. Let's talk about that.
I love it.
What do you
I
think?
love money.
Hey, it's very, very necessary, and I think it gives people, I think it gives more people opportunity because a lot of people want to go back to a barter system. I'm like, dude, do you know if you have no skills, then you're screwed in a barter system. Like
You
you're
don't got
not,
nothing to offer people
you're
except
not, yeah,
labor, right?
you're screwed if you're in a barter system and you don't have any high level skills,
Yep.
right? So that's one of the reasons I like money better than a barter system is because it gives more people opportunity to make a living than I think a barter system would. But anyways, Yeah, I'm sure you deal with a lot of money blocks in this industry. Yes.
Oh, obviously, right? There's, most of the blocks are self-induced, but it is what it is, right? And it's just opening that mind of saying, so how did you do it, right? How did you get to that point where money's, whether it's your belief system or your processes to unblock yourself, get out of your own way, and start making that kind of income?
Yeah, man. I remember when I first was at Massage Envy. I remember I used to say, I don't need more money. I just need less debt. You
Yep.
know, I remember saying that's a limiting belief. You know, because it's like you don't realize how much you're sacrificing until you make the next level of money. And this is why I think people live paycheck to paycheck for a long time, is because it's like, oh, I'm making 2 grand a month and I'm okay. But now I make 3 and I'm still living paycheck to paycheck. It's because, well, now you can afford all the things that you were giving up, or you can afford more of the things that you were giving up before, and you're at 4 grand. And I remember what the first year I made 90 grand together with me and my wife. Somebody was like, dang, you guys make 90 grand? That's really good. I was like, we're still broke, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I think we had a kid or two at this point. I'm like, it's not as much as you think. You got to be real intentional. But how did I get over money blocks? I think I'm still getting over them. I think this is like a never ending process, maybe for me, because I grew up, my mom didn't make more than $10 an hour my whole life until I was an adult. She makes more than that now, but you know, my dad went to jail when I was like 9 or 11 years old. Like, we didn't have a lot. We had a lot in family, in relationship,
Yep.
and a lot of support there, but financially, when I was a kid, we just didn't. And I think that carried over into my adulthood. Reading books 100% about business, it helped a ton, right? Mindset type books, podcasts around limiting beliefs, all these things help, like new information, right? I had a certain level of information at one point, and then getting new information to change those beliefs. For instance, I read in one book, think about all the villains in movies. They're all business people.
Hmm.
Like, almost 100% of the villains in movies are business people, right? So no wonder people have this like hate towards business people or rich people. They're all Ninja Turtles, bro. The Ninja Turtles villain isn't Shredder, dude. It's the business person backing Shredder, right? Like, that's what we're fed on a constant basis.
Yep.
Being rich is bad. Being in business is evil, right? Like, even people who are in business hate on like rich business people. Don't get me wrong, there's really bad people out there, but we have to realize it isn't the money. Money is just a tool. It just amplifies who you are. So when you've heard this before, if you're a really good person and you get money,
It'll make you a better person.
it'll make you a better person.
Yep.
But I think a lot of people hide behind that type of belief of, like, they say they're a good person, but they're not really taking any actions on it. You know, oh, if I got money, I would do this.
Hmm.
Well, why don't you prove it and do that now? You
Yeah,
know?
you know what? It's interesting that you said that. Like, one of the most annoying posts I read from on social media from time to time, and I just want to like go out there and like upgrade somebody's brain software, like you said, right there. The brain is whatever the software needs to get upgraded. Is they'll
Yeah.
go, oh, Musk made $500 billion. Jeff Bezos is worth $248 billion, and they only paid $20 in taxes. We should tax the rich, right? And I'm just looking. I'm like, you, why? I'm like, of all the things somebody needs to be concerned of, we tax the rich, we do this, we do that. These are not stupid people. These are people that build factories. Oh, well, they make 500 million an hour and they're only paying me $17 an hour. That's not fair. It's like, okay, dude, you put all your money, your life, your livelihood, you sleep under a desk, you put in everything you have, you work 20 hours a day for 5 years, And and then you tell me, go, okay, my new employee that just comes in, I should pay him as much as I made because I risked it all, and they feel they deserve more. So a lot of this stuff in terms of money and wealth is, and it goes back to some of the points that I mentioned. One, know it's possible. Two, know that you deserve it. It's out there. It's available. The money. If Elon can do it, you can do it. If this person can do it, you can do it. But hating on other people's success rarely is the best move, right? It's like, and that's part of the group is not to hate on other people that are just doing well or whatever. You, it's more of saying, well, this person can do it, that they have 24 hours in a day. But I promise you this, if we look at the habits of some of the most successful people out there, and you look at how much they work, what they do, and what the time, and you go, okay, what have you done? You know, what have you done in that time period? And they'll see why this person deserves to get paid more, right?
Well, that's one of the biggest problems, I think, around the mindset of like wealth and riches and stuff like that, is people will look at like NBA players and clearly see, I can't do this.
Yep.
You know, they'll look at NFL players and clearly see, I can't do this, right? They see talent in sports, and there's a clip, and so they never really talk about how that person doesn't deserve all the millions that they're making. I think because they can clearly see that this is something that not everybody can do. There's raw talent here and tons of skill, but they don't view business owners as having that same thing. And they don't understand that building people up is a talent and a skill that needs to be, you know, management is a talent and a skill, right? Being able to create systems and processes that work is a talent and a skill that some people are way better at than you are, you know? And so if you, there in business, it's just not, there's not a as clear of a differentiator, because they look at this
Yep.
millionaire business person and they think, well, I can do that. There's no reason I can't do that. But it's not the same right, like as an NBA player where they're like, well, I'm never going to be that tall. I'm never going to
Yep.
be able to dunk. So I'll never be able to do that. Right. But I do think business is one of those things that everybody can improve at. Just like I can
Yep.
improve at basketball. I might not be in the NBA, but I can get better. I can work on it and I can compete. I can, maybe I even can do like a rec league and I make a little bit of money if I put it on YouTube, like a lot of these people are doing, right? There's ways to make money and everything, but
So one of the ways that I always look at are processes and systems, right? Because a lot of people, a lot of estheticians just don't have it, right? I'll look at them. There's very few in between that have a system for this or a process for this, and I feel a lot of them are just winging it because they'll say, "Oh, this is just what I do," or "This is how I do it," or somebody has questions and they'll refer them to the website. "Oh, look at my website. You can here's the answer on the website." And I'm just like, oh, what are you doing, right? So what are some of the processes or systems that you've developed that have helped you grow your business?
well, for instance, I've been running Facebook ads for years, okay? And we've gotten business from it, but it really hasn't been into the last few months where I've really started to crush it with converting people from the messenger into appointments, right? I've booked like 7 of the last 9 phone calls that I've had, right? That is something that I just haven't given up on improving at, right? I feel like there's a way to make everything work.
Yeah,
There's a way to make everything work. There's all kinds of ideas. And if it isn't working for me, I don't blame the thing. I
because it's
work to
working for
make
somebody else. Other people are doing it, other people are
yeah.
working it, and it's working for them, right? So
So
it's just something that we're missing.
I blame me,
Yeah.
right? I blame my knowledge. I don't blame the customer for why they don't come back. I work on what can I control to improve, right? So some of those things are, for sure, how do I answer the phone, right? I have a process for that. It's going to be the consult, right? Really sucked in the beginning. And then I got good, even got something that just was better and it worked really great. And I've constantly tried to improve that ever since. I'm still improving that. I just changed it within the last 3 months and updated it, right? And I just trained somebody on my consult process in November. And I
Yep.
told them at that, I'm like, look, this is going to be different in 3 months. and I'll have to update you because I'm improving it right now as we speak, right? Even though it works, I'm making it better,
Yep.
For the consult, my massage, I have a process for my massage, right? I work super broad to specific. When I'm like, I have a process that I go through mentally and how I'm going to end up, you know, and I'll communicate that process. Communication with my client is a process that I created. Uh, After the session consult, where I make my recommendation, is a process, right? Following up with my clients, I have a process for that, right? As soon as they leave, I shoot them a text thanking them one more time. 3 days later, I text or call them, follow up to check in. The day they left as well, I sent a thank you card. Like, that's all a process,
Yep.
you know? And I've heard your thank you card recommendation a while back around
I don't know
getting
why
more
people
feet.
don't do it, man. It's like send a
Yeah.
freaking thank you card. Shoot.
Well, because it's work, man. You know,
Mm,
it's more work,
yep.
but that's my goal, and everything that I do is I want to out care everybody, right? Everything
That's
that I
it.
do is centered around showing people that I actually care about you and your well-being and helping you get better, right? And I do that with the actual service, but I do that with the consult. I do that with the after session script. The following up and nurturing those relationships afterwards is all centered around, this is not a transaction for me. This is a relationship. And so it's all a process, though. It's all like systematized.
Yeah, and you know what? It's that's a great point that you mentioned. That if somebody isn't doing all these things, right, and it is work, right? If so, well, it's work. It's like, well, shit. Welcome to fucking owning a business. It's called work, right? There's things that are required because
Imagine that.
if you're not doing that work, then it's gonna feel transactional. It's not going to feel, if somebody doesn't get the thank you card or the follow-ups, and not just like a simple thing like that. Some people say, hey, are you okay? Or just want to make sure everything's fine, or whatever. But there's certain things you can do that to show you care like that. And like you said, if people, especially nowadays, I think a lot of people just aren't willing to do the work. And that's why I say violence is the answer. Put in the work, show that you care. How do I show that I care? Okay, what are some of the things someone can do to show that they care, like a thank you card or a follow up, or just a call out of blue. Hey, I was just thinking about you, or anything of that sort to make it actually feel like a relationship. But the ones that's why I feel this business, especially the health and the beauty industry, it's an easy business because all you got to do is outwork the ones that aren't willing to do the work and show that you care more. And if you can do those two things, there's no reason. Like I can see why you're successful, Michael. It's like it's obvious. It's like, I don't have to know all about your business just by talking with you. I can tell, like, okay, he knows this. He's doing these. Oh, I like the way he said that. And the fact that you're going back and you're reflecting on how to improve it. And even though it's good, how can I make it better? Because those small, incremental improvements over time really add up. And some people, if they're not doing that work, it's like, well, it goes back to the thing. People just are egotistical. Oh, I don't need to do this. My clients, and this is one of my biggest pet peeves. Oh my God, I just know this person's gonna be on OnlyFans pretty soon because the esthetician industry is not gonna work out for them. Is they're like, well, if they don't know my value, then I don't need them as a client. And I'm just like, wow, the ego on this person to feel this person should do all the research on me as the esthetician, and I shouldn't have to prove myself to anybody. And they don't need to, I don't need to do all these things. They should know who I am. I'm like, dude, I don't know who you are. It's like, what do you mean? And it's just do the work. If they don't, do the work. You have to build the credibility. You have to do a lot of these things that like you mentioned. So if you can go back in time, right, knowing all that you know now, and you just got out of massage school, right? What are some of the things that you would have told your younger self about that might have gotten you to this level a little bit faster?
Mm, that's a great question, man. Um, I would definitely tell my younger self that you need to study sales sooner,
Yeah.
right? You need to really get into sales. I had a lot of limiting beliefs around that for many, many years, even into actually having my own practice. A couple of years in isn't even when I started actually studying sales. It would be so much further along. Leadership, leadership sooner. Even if it's a one person business, like leading yourself. You know, um, I, I I would go back and I would tell myself, do what you say you're going to do.
Yeah.
Like if I could work, if I could narrow it down to one thing, one of the biggest things I see holding people back is they say they're going to do something and they don't follow through. And this takes away from trusting yourself. And trusting yourself, dude, if you trust yourself, bro, you're unstoppable.
Yep.
You're unstoppable. And it's that self-esteem. And I read a book called The 5 Second Rule that is all about, like, I have a thought of something I should do.
Boom.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get up and do it.
Yep.
Right? I have a thought I need to do the dishes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get up and do it. I have
Bang
a
them
thought I
out.
need to work out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get up and do it. Right? And like right now, I've been working on, like I'm texting my friend and I'm saying, hey, my goal is to work out 7 days or go to the gym 7 days this week. First week I did 7 days. Second week I made it 6. This week I'm going to make it 6 because I missed yesterday. And it isn't about perfection, right? It's about progress. Because I wasn't doing 6 or 7 days 2 weeks ago, right? So it's about this improvement and this progress and me keeping my word to myself.
Yep.
My son, one day he tells me, he's 12 now. He's like he's been working out with me in the morning, and he's like, Dad, I want to work out tomorrow, right? So I get up. I get up at like 4:30 usually. About 6 o'clock, I go to wake him up, and I'm like, all right, let's go, man. Time to work out. He's like, can we skip today? And I thought about it for a second, and I sat down on his bed, and I'm like, no, I'm sorry, man. As your father, I am not going to allow you to not follow through on what you said you're going to do, right? And
Yep.
me growing up, I didn't have that. I didn't have somebody to hold me accountable. And as adults, we don't really have that. And we have to be that person for ourselves. You know,
Yep. 100.
and so the more that you can do the thing you say you're going to do, even down to the small things, even down to the thing you tell a client that you're going to send them a video, send the freaking video. Be somebody who does what they say they're going to do. Right? This is where you build trust in yourself. This is where other people have trust in you, and the sky is the limit at that point. Like, you're not doing the thing because you don't actually think you'll do the thing. You're not starting a business because you don't actually trust yourself to do the work that it takes to start a business.
Yep.
You know, so that would
And
probably be it, man.
and that's so one of the interesting things, what's so interesting about this whole conversation is we didn't talk so much on how do you massage, do you do this, or is this your way of doing it. And the same thing with skincare. It's like, it's not about the facial, it's not about, of course people want results. That's like a given. No one's going to come to you and, oh, I feel worse after the massage, Michael, thank you so much, right? No one's going to come and leave with worse results. That's the results are given, that they're coming to you so you can help them with whatever they need help with, whatever treatment that they need. But it says all these other things that are critical. How are you doing? How can you improve? What are your processes? And like you mentioned, there's all these processes that ironically ironically that somebody can come up with and kind of deal with and put together over a weekend, over one week, and go, okay, I have a new client coming in. How do I greet them? What should I do next? How can I make this more valuable? How can I do this? How can I make it memorable? Okay, your follow-up sequence. Okay, what can I do? This. And one of the things that you mentioned, Michael, that I really liked is, you already have a lot of these in place, but you're always working on fine-tuning them. It's happening. And I believe a business is a living, breathing organism. that as it grows and you grow with it, there's changes that are made. Now we got like Chat GPT, we got AI, we got all these things and tools that are readily available for people to use to make it easier. But again, technology is making it easier for people. However, it goes back to the thing. If you're not willing to do the work, there's nothing that technology can do. People just want it handed to them. And again, that's possible. Pay for it. But you got to pay for it, right? If you go, hey, I don't want to do Facebook ads. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do follow-up sequences. And it's like, cool. If you do not want to do that, but most people that aren't willing to do that work also cannot afford for those services from a professional, Fiverr maybe, but
Right.
you get what you pay for.
Yeah, man. And look, in the beginning, when you're starting your business, you have time.
Yeah.
You have time. You have nothing but time. When you have time, you probably don't have money, right? When you
Yep.
have money, then you can buy your time back, and you can pay somebody to do those things, like you said. Then you can start running Facebook ads. But in the beginning, what are you going home for today? Why are you going home? You had one client.
Netflix, right?
Yeah.
And you know what? And I yell at people all the time. I go, dude, you are always booked. I don't care where you are in your business. You are always booked. You're booked with clients or you're booked with getting clients. That's it. You got a 3 hour gap between this. What are you going home for? What are you going to scroll on this? What Netflix show are you going to watch? I go, if your business isn't where you are always booked, especially in the beginning. You put in the time, you put in that energy. You're either working on clients or you're working on getting clients. And
Mm-hmm.
again, it's just people, it goes back to the work ethic, I say it all the time, I'm working on myself as well. I'm trying to be impeccable with my word. If I say I'm going to do something and then I do it or don't do it, but it's exactly what you mentioned, Michael. It's like when I don't do it, I feel like shit. I let myself down because if I can't keep my word to myself, then what can others expect for me, right?
100%, dude. And that's the thing. Like when you are in your own business, there's three main. You have sales and marketing, right? Or you talked about getting clients or working on getting clients. You have business development, which is like working on your business instead of in it, or it might be self-development. It might be getting more knowledge and more skills so that you can get better at the sales and marketing and getting clients aspect. And then you have the fulfillment, which is your actual service that you provide.
Yep.
Right. So those are the three main areas that need to be in your schedule, right? The fulfillment, you have that typically, here's the days I'm going to work, here's the times I'm going to work. Sales and marketing needs to be like 80% of your other time, right? And it blows my mind. Like, for instance, like I'm over 6 figures a year in my private practice, my own personal revenue. My other therapist is about 6 figures a year as well. On Monday, I had a cancellation. I didn't just come into work late. I tried to book it, number one, couldn't book
Yep.
it. So what did I do? I called somebody in for a free service in exchange for me recording the video that day.
Yep.
In exchange for, hey, can you give me a review? Right? Like I'm 18 years into this and I'm still doing that. And people who have, 6 hours on their schedule aren't willing to do any free services.
I'm telling you, it's ego, right?
I'm like,
Ego is such a big killer. Oh, I'm not gonna do this. It's too far. It's not worth my time. I'm not gonna do this or this. It's like, but what you did, I always tell people, I go, shit's gonna happen. Cancellation's gonna happen. What is the best move that you can make at that time? And the fact that you got somebody there, you're getting, you're practicing some more, you're getting some social media out of it, you're getting a potential review out of it or something of that sort.
and she tipped me
It's the
40
best move.
bucks.
Bam.
I'm like, and she paid, and I got $40 more than I would have if I didn't do anything. But people disrespect 40 bucks, bro.
Yeah.
They disrespect it, I was just talking to a therapist, and we're just working on her mindset around money a little bit because she's been so willing to take 0 instead of 50. Because like you can't be mad that you're not getting your full rate when the alternative is 0.
Yep.
You can get mad when you're not getting your full rate when the alternative is you could have booked a full price client. But until then, Anything above 0 is better than 0, in my opinion. When you're building up, you especially if you're renting somewhere, it's, you can be a little pickier if you have a job. And this is why I recommend people have a job. If you have a job and you're trying to build a clientele up on the side, then you can. I tell people the best way to get full price is to not need the money.
Yep.
You want full price? Don't need the money. And then you can turn away people who won't come in unless they get a deal or something. You can turn away those people.
No, I see,
But
and I love that idea. I love that idea. You get a cancellation, work hard to fill that spot. Do it for free, because there's a lot of things you can do. Like you mentioned, one, you get the social media. Two, you get a tip potentially, right? Three, you get a review. Four, you bug them for referrals, right? There's a lot of, and five, you book them maybe for the next one. They go, oh, I really feel good about them. Hey, I got this and this and this, or you uncover something new about them or their body in the process. But doing something like that is always a better move than taking your ass back home and watching the next episode on Netflix, right? It's like this is the best move in a business. But see, those are some of the decisions that must be made, and that's why the discipline is important. And that's why I'm such a big fan of processes and systems. There should be a process and a system. If you have a no-show or a cancellation, go, okay, I have a no-show cancellation. It's like, okay, well, whoop-de-whoop. Like, no, okay, no-show cancellation. What's next step? Now, boom, blast social media, free spot, or try to get somebody in there for this. Boom, hit somebody else up that is there and that maybe can come by because they're not working or something of that sort. Right?
there's
But
there's a
that's
sorry, there's an app called Reach. Do you have this?
mm-hmm. No.
Reach is a text messaging app. It's like $6 a month. And you can put like all your clients into a group, but it doesn't send a group text. Each individual person pops up and you click send. So if I have 100 people in my clients list, I write up one text message. Here's my openings for the week, right? Send to this group. And then it just goes, each one pops up. I hit send, 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 send. And I do have to keep clicking send, but it's individual text messages that go out.
Right.
And I can text 100 people in a minute and 30 seconds, and fill a spot.
Yeah.
So it's $6 a month. It's the best one I found so far. There's other ones like Haymarket, but they're like 100 something a month. And, it will tell so it'll be like, hey, client name, but in my phone, it says client / their name. And so it'll show up as that. So I don't like that, but this one is really, really great for filling spots. But yeah, exactly, man. You gotta have a process, dude. But people, this was like, bro, 18 years in, and I'm still willing to do free services because I understand, and like you said, I have a process. I will even use that as a strategy to reactivate people who haven't been in a while. Because then they get a massage again. They're like, oh my gosh, this is great. Why am I not doing this? And
Yeah,
then they
exactly.
rebook.
Fill the spots, right? Fill the spots.
Yeah.
Try to freaking CPR a client that hasn't come in, or go, maybe sell them some oil or something like that. Whatever it may be, upsell a product or this or that, or go, hey, if you really like this one, you're gonna love the next one, right?
Yeah, you can get a review out of that exchange. You can get content out of that exchange. You can get them, hey, can you post a post on your Instagram for me? Can you check in here on Facebook for me in exchange for this free service? Right? Like there's tons of things that are beneficial besides money that can help you get future money. Like don't and almost 100% of the people that I've called in, and I do not expect this. And if they don't tip me, I do not have any resentment or hard feelings towards them. That wasn't part of the agreement, right? The agreement was you come in, I get content, you give me a review, et cetera, et cetera. But like 98% have tipped me something, 40, $50, $80 sometimes. I'm like, dude, it was free. They're like, it was amazing. Here you go. I'm like, heck yeah, bro. I just made more than zero today. I was about to take a zero before that happened.
You know what? I believe a lot of times people underestimate because whether it's my own greed or my own negativity or my exactly what you said, my own beliefs. But I believe people in general are very kind, right? That and there's one of the rules. Have you ever heard of what's his name? Robert Cialdini. You ever
No.
read any of his books? Read
Oh,
his books. Robert Cialdini. He does a lot of books on getting people to like getting to yes, getting people to say yes. It's like a really, really good book, man. Like I'm telling you, the guy, he's a persuasion. There you go. That's the word I was looking for. He's a master of persuasion. And one of the things that he talks about is in persuasion is reciprocity. You give somebody something and they feel guilty about not giving something back to you. And so when you do these things for free, right, even though you're doing it out of the goodness of your heart and you're, saying, hey, you do this and I just want some video content of it, you'll be surprised that people will want to give back to you because it's an open loop. You gave them something and they feel and you put in your time, your energy, and people at the end, they're like, you know what, man, let me at least tip them some money, right? And that's just how it works, right? So great author, amazing content. It's got, and I to this day I remember it. His principles of influence, commitment, consistency, reciprocity, authority, scarcity, consensus, liking, and friendship. And those are all different parts of how people you can persuade someone to do something that you would like them to do.
yeah.
And
Well,
so
I love that, man. I'll have to check him out. One of the things when it comes to like this topic though is I think again people disrespect how much money we actually make per hour, right? Like I just asked a therapist the other day. I'm like, do you think like if you're working like an 8-hour job, like at an office or whatever, you're making $30 an hour? Is that pretty good? She's like, yeah, 100%. I'm like, okay. Well, if you only work 5 hours at $50 an hour, that's an average of $30 per hour. How come that? Like, how come we disrespect that?
yeah,
And that's half your rate. You know, like you could literally get half your rate and make a decent income, like you just said, right? And there's people who will like they'll make they'll go to like these chain spas and they'll make $15 or $20 an hour working for somebody else, but they won't do it for themselves. Like you'll
interesting,
go
right?
you'll go somewhere else and make 15 or $20 an hour, but you'll scoff because somebody only gave you 60 instead of your 80. You're
Ego.
upset, you know?
I'm telling you that the ego is literally too many people that believe they're too good for that is killing how far someone can go in the business, and that's why it's exactly what you said. It's like they're not seeing the big picture. They scoff at the money that they'd be more than happy with or were happy with doing before, and just realizing it's like, hey, it's your business. Hey, fill that spot, get as much as you can out of it, and the more you do it, and again, I think with the first thing that you said that I just resonate with, we could have just stopped the fucking thing back then, is most people underestimate the level of activity it takes. Learning the process, learning how to serve customers better, learning how to do these things, and they expect the result to be instant. It's like you do not, you have to get frequent before you can get good, right? And that's it. And you don't realize how to get good until you've done it enough and you're like, okay, now I kind of understand what's up. And now I can, too many people want to work smart. I heard this recently. They go, everyone wants to work smart without working hard.
Mm.
And we hear it all the time. They want to work smart, but you don't know how to work smart until you work hard. So you work hard first, and over a time, like you mentioned, because you work hard, cool. Let me fine tune these processes. So now you're working smarter. And then the real smart person will work hard and smart. They're smart, right? They're going to work hard and smart. Then because you're just going to get better and better over time, right? So as we finish this up a little bit, right? What do you think have been some of the best decisions that you made in your business? Now that you've been in this game for 18 years, you've done this, you've learned some of that. What are some of the things that you feel that you've just learned that like, okay, because of this, I feel, has really contributed to my success.
I think the first thing that I'm grateful for, I'm grateful that that person canceled that massage on me, right? Because that started my obsession with how can I make sure that that never happens again,
Yeah.
right? That before that, I had the ego that these schools sent me out into the world with, you know, you have this knowledge. My classmates freaking, like I said, gassing me up. I thought I was amazing fresh out of school, and she crumbled my world, thankfully,
Yeah.
because it allowed me to have this obsession with, well, what is it? First, how can I make sure that never happens again? Because it sucked royally. But also, how can I make sure that I have the best chance possible to get the customer results and make them happy? I'm still obsessed with it. I'm still obsessed with it, right? When I was at Massage Envy, I thought I had a really good thing down. After I left and started hiring people, I was like, oh crap, I don't know anything, right? All the stuff I thought I knew, trash, right? Have to keep going. And even today, I'm still learning new things. What is it? What didn't you like about your last therapist? What did you like about your last therapist? Because they'll tell you the truth about somebody else.
Yeah.
you
People
know,
love talking shit.
you know. So that's hands down one of the things that I'm super grateful for. What was the original question again?
No, I mean, it's basically like, some of the things that brought you to this success. Now that you've done all the things and are continuing to learn
Okay, I
some
got you.
of the factors that really helped in your
Yeah. So
success.
that hands down was one of them, right? Some people take that type of feedback and it crushes them and they end up quitting. But I didn't, right? Another thing would be getting services by people who I perceived were better than me, um, and learning from them, and not as official mentors or anything like that, but just going places. Oh, this person is successful. Let me go see what they're doing. What do I
Yeah.
like and not like about that service, about what they did, about their process? And I still do that, right? That's a never ending thing, right? Even learning from you and your group. You're obviously successful. You have a 20,000 member group, which is, how rare that is, bro. Like
It's
you're
crazy.
doing right.
It
Like
blows my mind sometimes. Like, what the?
you're crushing it, bro. So there's always something to learn from people who are better than you. Um, so that the third thing would be is actually having like business coaches. For sure got me through rough times, and I just hired one last year as well to help get me to the next level of the things that I'm doing, and just helping me organize my thoughts. Like I'm an idea person, and sometimes I have so many ideas, but I'm not acting on any of them. Nobody knows that. They'll think that I'm like an action taker, that I don't procrastinate anything, and I do all the time. But getting an actual plan written out with this coach, a process written out, a marketing plan written out, and then something that I can actually take action on has been a game changer, and I'm doing really well with that right now. So business coaches, again, people outside of the industry to give you a different perspective is beneficial. People inside of the industry to give you a perspective, super beneficial. And then
Yeah.
reading. If I could only do one thing, if I could get rid of everything else, it would be reading. That's probably the biggest thing that has contributed to any type of success I have, and changing the thoughts that I think, the beliefs that I have. Because ultimately, and I heard this quote, I think Alex Hormozy said it, is the biggest expense you have in your business is the
Is not
knowledge that you
knowing.
don't have, right?
Yep.
Freaking fire quote, bro. Like,
Yes.
because it's just true. It's like the things you don't know,
It's
you don't
costly.
even know you're doing them wrong. You don't even understand how much money and you're leaving on the table because you're just unaware of what you should be doing. And so constantly trying to close that gap. And I think reading is one of the best ways to do that.
Yeah. And we'll end with that second right there, and a little shout out to Alex Formosi, right? And the quote that Michael is talking about right now is saying, okay, look at where you are in your business, and if you're not making, let's just say, $500,000, if you're not doing $500,000, someone is doing 100,000. it's costing you $400,000 a year to not know how to make 500,000. So the information that you do not know is the real deal. And a lot of estheticians out here, like if someone's making 30,000 a year and they're not making 100,000, the let's just say to the minimum of it, then it's costing them 70,000 a year to not have this knowledge. And what Michael really talked about today broke down some of the most critical parts. And it's so important because so many people want to know the tricks. What do I say? What are the tactics? How do I send this? What email is it? What are the words I use? How do I get more clients? And they don't want to work on the basic things. It's like, what are your beliefs? Are you keeping your word? Are you even working hard? Right? And it's kind of like going to the gym. People are like, well, how do I lose weight? What are the exercises I should do? Okay, are you eating junk food? Yes. Okay, well, let's stop doing that. Are you exercising? No. Okay, let's start doing that. It's like we can't even get into the hardcore exercise training stuff until people do the basics, right? So Michael, as we finish this up, one last opportunity message to get across to the group. You're talking to the Bold Beauty bosses, the Beauty Biz Launch Group. What was the final message you'd like to give to them?
I think final message would be, man, get the knowledge and do the thing, right?
Yep.
You have tons of free resources to you. Like it's honestly probably the easiest and best time with social media, with email, like all these tools that we have access to that we didn't have 20 years ago. Like the people 20 years ago didn't have these things, and you're not using them because of fear or whatever. You like my teeth are jacked up, bro. Like
Mine are
I don't care about none of that stuff. Like anybody who's gonna comment on those things ain't doing anything anyways.
Yeah.
So just push past the fear and do the thing. Get out there, like you said, get known, get liked, get trusted, and do the thing.
That's it. All right, Michael, stick with me. All right, y'all. So, Michael, first of all, thank you so much for all of that. We're gonna go back a couple of things. I always take notes. Always, I too am a student of the game. And so, everybody, a couple of quick notes: processes and systems. Look at them. Right. Look at what's going on. Understand your level of activity. Right. Be a student and learn. Do it and then get good at it. Get frequent before you get good. Belief that it's possible. Use your fear. So if you're afraid of something, it's probably a good thing to run towards it, especially if it's something that's going to help you in your future, in your business and networking, right? Reflect, what went right, what could go better, right? Read, right? And remember, people are lying to you all the time. They lie not because they're deceitful, but they don't want to hurt your feelings. They don't want to tell you, I don't believe you, I don't trust you, I don't think you are the right person for me. So dig deeper, look into their expectations through the consult process, because unless you do a good consult, you're not going to know what they are expecting. And only if you can meet a client's expectations can you work with that client and give them what they want. All right, consultation. I love how you dug deep into that. I have a saying: the consultation is king. Consultation is king. You care, you understand. Look at that. Solving problems. Reach. I'm gonna definitely check out that app for texting and all that stuff. No shows. Use that as that if you listen to nothing else in this entire interview right here, right? I believe the no show system that you have is worth it right there. You have a no show. Get somebody in there for free. You're booking somebody. You're getting hopefully a review. You're getting some social media content. Maybe they'll tip you. Maybe you can get a referral, right? But you got somebody in there. You're working as opposed to watching Netflix or anything of that sort. So those are some of my notes. I hope you, as you're watching this, you took notes as well. If you didn't, watch it again. Take some notes. Walk away with something good. Again, Michael, thank you so much. Stick around, okay?
Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
For sure.